Most of us were never taught what our emotions actually are. We were told to control them, hide them, or get over them. But emotions aren't problems to solve. They're information. They're your internal guidance system trying to tell you something important. If you've spent years confused about why you feel what you feel, this is the education you should have gotten decades ago. Let me walk you through what your emotions are actually trying to communicate. Irritability. Irritability isn't just being in a bad mood. It's your nervous system running on fumes. When you're irritable, you're not being difficult. Your body is telling you that one of your core needs hasn't been met. Sleep, nutrition, boundaries, solitude. Something is depleted, and your system is signaling distress through a shortened fuse. Stop blaming yourself for being snappy. Start asking what resource you've been ignoring. Your irritability is a check engine light, not a character flaw. Restlessness. Restlessness is trapped kinetic energy. Your body was designed to move, to act, to channel intensity into motion. When you feel restless, it's not anxiety, it's energy that has nowhere to go. You've been sitting too long, thinking too much, or holding yourself back from something you need to express. Don't try to think your way out of restlessness. Move your body, dance, walk, lift something heavy. Let the energy complete its cycle. Restlessness dissolves the moment you give it physical form. Overwhelm. Overwhelm is what happens when your brain receives more input than it can process in real time. You're not failing. Your system is overloaded. Think of your mind like a computer with 30 tabs open. Everything slows down. Overwhelm isn't asking you to do more. It's begging you to do less. Close the tabs, one thing at a time, one breath at a time. You don't need to solve everything right now. You just need to identify the next single step. Panic. Panic is your body's smoke alarm going off when there's no fire. It's a false alarm rooted in your nervous system's memory of past danger. When panic hits, your body genuinely believes you're in life-threatening danger, even when you're sitting safely in your living room. You can't logic your way out of panic because it's not a thought problem. It's a nervous system problem. Ground yourself. Name 5 things you can see. Feel your feet on the floor. Speak out loud. Your voice signals to your brain that you're present and safe. Panic isn't permanent. It's a wave, and waves always pass. Indifference. Indifference is emotional shutdown. It's what happens when you've cared too much for too long without reciprocity or resolution. Indifference isn't maturity. It's exhaustion wearing a mask. If you've stopped caring about things that used to matter, your system isn't healed. It's protecting itself by going numb. Don't mistake detachment for peace. Real peace feels warm. Indifference feels like nothing. If you're numb, you need rest, not more pressure. You need connection that feels safe, not more situations that require you to perform. Regret. Regret is your brain trying to rewrite the past because it can't accept what already happened. It loops endlessly, replaying the same moment, asking what if, torturing you with alternate endings. But here's the truth. Regret doesn't change anything. It only keeps you stuck in a moment that no longer exists. The lesson isn't in the regret. It's in what you do next. Forgive yourself for not knowing then what you know now. You made the best decision you could with the awareness you had. Release the fantasy of a different past and build a different future. Numbness. Numbness isn't the absence of feeling. It's your nervous system hitting the circuit breaker when everything becomes too much. Numbness is what happens when your emotions overwhelm your capacity to process them, so your brain just shuts the whole system down. You're not broken, you're overloaded. Numbness is temporary protection, but if you stay there too long, you lose access to everything, not just the pain, but also the joy, the connection, the meaning. To come back, you have to go slow. You can't force feeling. Excitement. Excitement is energy moving towards something your system recognizes as rewarding. But here's what nobody tells you. Excitement and anxiety feel almost identical in your body. Racing heart, shallow breath, heightened alertness. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about what's happening. If you label it as danger, it becomes anxiety. If you label it as opportunity, it becomes excitement. Learn to reframe the sensation. Your body isn't betraying you. It's preparing you for something significant. Emptiness.
Emptiness isn't the absence of emotion. It's the presence of disconnection. You feel empty when you've lost touch with what matters, when you're going through motions without meaning. Emptiness is your soul signaling that you're living out of alignment. You're doing what you're supposed to do, but not what you're meant to do. Don't try to fill the void with distractions. Sit with it. Ask what's missing. The emptiness is showing you exactly where you need to rebuild. Jealousy. Jealousy is fear of loss disguised as insecurity. It emerges when something or someone you value feels threatened. Jealousy isn't pretty, but it's honest. It's showing you what matters to you and where you feel vulnerable. The problem isn't the jealousy itself, it's what you do with it. Do you weaponize it, turning it into control and accusation? Or do you decode it, asking yourself what need isn't being met? Jealousy in relationships often signals a need for reassurance, presence, or repair. Don't ignore it. Don't attack with it. Communicate through it. Confusion. Confusion is the space between an old belief and a new truth. You feel confused when reality no longer matches the story you've been telling yourself. Your brain is trying to reconcile contradictory information, and it's uncomfortable. But confusion isn't failure. It's transformation in progress. You're not lost. You're evolving. Give yourself permission to not have all the answers right now. Clarity comes from action, not from thinking harder. Gratitude. Gratitude isn't just positivity. It's a nervous system regulation tool. When you genuinely feel grateful, your body shifts out of threat mode and into safety mode. Your heart rate steadies. Your breath deepens. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice what's working instead of only scanning for what's wrong. It's not toxic positivity. It's biological recalibration. Practice it daily, not to ignore pain, but to balance your perspective. Contentment. Contentment is the quiet satisfaction of being enough. It's not excitement or euphoria. It's the deep exhale after striving for so long. Contentment doesn't mean you've stopped growing. It means you've stopped making your worth conditional on achievement. Our culture trains you to always want more, to never be satisfied. But contentment is power. It's the ability to be at peace with where you are while still moving forward. It's not settling, it's sovereignty. Defensiveness. Defensiveness is the armor you put on when you feel attacked. But here's the thing. Defensiveness doesn't protect you, it isolates you. When you get defensive, you're not listening anymore. You're just preparing your counterargument, protecting your ego instead of understanding the other person. Defensiveness is a sign that you're taking something personally that might not be about you at all. Before you defend, pause. Ask yourself, is this feedback actually threatening, or does it just feel uncomfortable? Discomfort isn't danger. Apathy. Apathy is exhaustion pretending to be indifference. When you say you don't care, what you usually mean is you can't care anymore. You've hit your limit. Apathy is your system's last-ditch effort to protect itself from more disappointment or pain. It's not laziness, it's survival mode. If you're apathetic, you don't need motivation. You need recovery. You need to step back and restore the energy that caring requires. Apathy lifts when safety returns. Anticipation. Anticipation is your brain living in the future instead of the present. It's not always negative. Sometimes anticipation feels like excitement, but when it becomes chronic, it robs you of now. You're so focused on what's coming that you miss what's here. Learn to anchor yourself. Yes, plan for the future, but don't live there. This moment is the only one you actually have. Anger. Anger is your boundary alarm system. It activates when something violates your sense of fairness, safety, or respect. Anger isn't the problem. It's the messenger telling you that something needs to change. The issue is what you do with it. Suppressed anger becomes resentment. Explosive anger damages relationships. But channeled anger becomes advocacy, protection, and necessary change. When anger shows up, don't shut it down. Ask it what boundary needs defending. Ask it what injustice needs addressing. Your anger is trying to mobilize you toward action, not destruction. Anxiety. Anxiety is your brain's early warning system stuck in overdrive. It evolved to scan for danger and keep you alive. But in modern life, it mistakes uncertainty for threat. Your anxiety isn't irrational. It's your nervous system trying to prepare you for every possible worst-case scenario simultaneously. The problem is it can't tell the difference between giving a presentation and running from a predator. When anxiety spirals, you need to show your body evidence of safety. Breathe slowly. Ground yourself in the present moment. Anxiety quiets when your nervous system realizes the danger it's predicting isn't actually here. Guilt. Guilt is your conscience speaking. It shows up when your actions conflict with your values.
Guilt is uncomfortable, but it's also functional. It's your internal moral compass recalibrating you. The question is whether your guilt is proportional. Healthy guilt says you did something wrong and you can repair it. Toxic guilt says you are something wrong and nothing you do will be enough. Learn the difference. If your guilt is pointing to a genuine mistake, own it. Apologize. Make amends. Let the guilt guide you back to integrity. But if your guilt is chronic and disproportionate, it's not wisdom. It's conditioning you need to unlearn. Shame. Shame is the belief that you are fundamentally flawed. Unlike guilt, which says you did something bad, shame says you are bad. Shame thrives in secrecy. It grows when you hide parts of yourself, convinced that if people really knew you, they'd reject you. Shame is a liar. It takes isolated moments and turns them into identity. The antidote to shame isn't perfection. It's vulnerability. Shame loses power the moment you speak it out loud to someone safe. You're not broken. You're human. And your humanity, even the messy parts, doesn't make you unworthy. Disgust. Disgust is your system's rejection response. It evolved to protect you from contamination, from things that can make you sick or harm you. But disgust doesn't just respond to physical threats. It also reacts to moral violations, to behaviors that feel wrong or repulsive. When you feel disgust towards someone, it's your value system drawing a line. But disgust can also be weaponized. It can be taught. You can be conditioned to feel disgust toward things that aren't actually harmful, just different. When disgust arises, pause. Ask yourself if this is protective instinct or learned prejudice. Not everything that feels wrong is actually dangerous. Your emotions aren't random. They're not irrational. They're not proof that something is wrong with you. They're a sophisticated communication system that evolved to keep you safe, connected, and aligned with what matters. Your emotions are data. Learn to read them, not silence them. If this helped you understand yourself better, leave a comment and tell me which emotion finally makes sense now. I'll be sharing more videos like this on emotional growth, psychology, and self-understanding. Subscribe if this content resonates with you.